Hi guys, Ozhound here, and this is episode 5 of my Let's Play all the mods to Minecraft 1.11.2. I have moved. I said in my previous episodes that I wanted to move because where I was, there wasn't a lot of resources around. It was basically a frozen biome, surrounded by mountains to the north. I had to reset my map because it was conflicting. It was merged with another map in my on another server I was playing on, which is why you don't see a lot of the stuff around here. But yeah, there's only so much I can skate over the ice, so I packed up all my stuff into crates and moved. Found this village. It was still a little bit bare around. Kept moving over towards the east. Found another village, and then I ended up in this location here, surrounded by several biomes and some really nice features generated by the Mesa biome and these lovely lines. This I didn't build, it was already here. It's the pergola from Terraqueous. It is found in a lot of villages. It's right next to yet another roguelite dungeon there, which I haven't been down. Plenty of farming opportunities around here. And the only downside is that it is actually quite elevated in certain areas. So I've fallen down a few times. Not that I've died, but come close to it. So this is my setup. You'll recognise a lot of the machines that are at the old setup, the old base, and you recognise some new ones as well. I've started with a basic item sorting system. I've upgraded those double chests into the small storage crates from Actually Editions. They hold a lot more information a lot more items than a double chest in one block space, to the point where this is just the entry level one. You can get the medium storage and a large storage crate, and every time you go up a level, it basically adds another one of these pages. So your medium storage will have 2 pages of this, and your large storage will have 3 pages. So a massive amount of inventory capacity within one block space. And that's good because it actually works quite well with the next thing I'm going to show you guys, which is the item laser relays and the advanced item laser relays. And rather than have all of my machines touching the generators to generate power, I've made a simple power cell from RF tools. It's just basically an in-world battery. Relatively easy to make the entry level one. It's simply a couple of diamonds, lots of redstone, quartz, and because I've found nether quartz, or those quartz ores in the overworld, I haven't needed to go to the nether at this stage. But the machine frame is lapis, gold, iron, and which creates the simple power cell. Now, as you go up in tiers, don't want the creative one, just your standard power cell, it's prismarine. Or you can convert your existing power cell into a normal power cell, and that reduces the amount of expense as far as redstone goes, but that's about it. You still need a diamond and an emerald, and the next one up is the advanced power cell, which has infused diamonds, which means you basically have to create a dimension with the RF tool dimensions mod, and able to get dimensional shards because they don't exist, or they don't appear in the overworld, the end, or the nether. So I am now transferring power. Now transferring power to these machines via this red laser, via energy laser relays. These are very easy to set up. You simply just create them. Using redstone, obsidian, redstonia crystals, advanced coils, makes 4 of them, so that's pretty cool. The difference in these is that they're just the amount of power they can transfer. So the laser relays, energy caps, 1,000 RF per tick, 10,000 and 100,000. And there's an energy loss you've got to account for with these as well. So yeah, all you do is you paste them down. I could have connected this one directly to the ones on the back of these machines, but then I'd have a laser running through the floor here, or running on top of the floor here. I didn't really want that, so I made a few of them, punched it up into the ceiling. You can see that one's going into the block. They do pass through block space, which is good. And I'll just put one in the middle of the ceiling here to distribute out to other points. Now, in order to connect these, you need a laser wrench. Which is made like so. Iron and advanced coils, so iron converted into Nori crystals with the atomic reassembler, and advanced coils. And all you do with this is right click and then right click. That's not going to work obviously because I'm already connected, but yeah, these item laser relays are far more complicated to get working, and I always have trouble when I come back to try to do these from a couple of months off playing Minecraft. There are your item laser relays and then your advanced item laser relays. The item laser relays don't have a GUI. The only thing you can do with them with a compass is to increase and decrease the priority system. So I'll get my wrench. Priority is -1 on that one. Priority 0. The advanced item laser relays, when you create them, automatically have a priority of 10. The standard item laser relays are created with a priority of 0. To change them, you hold a compass and you basically shift left click, shift right click to increase and decrease. Now, how these work is every inventory that these connect to form a very large inventory. So this chest here, these crates are now part of one big inventory. So everything in this one, everything in this one, and everything in this one is known to or seen by the laser relay network. So how this works, I've also got these storage drawers connected in as well, is that I come back from mining with all my stuff and I simply shift right click and dump my pack into here. This ESD is essentially a control point. It's like an advanced hopper. Well, the interface that's actually sitting on the outbound side, which in this case is the chest on top of it, is getting pulled from. These numbers here indicate the number of, this number here indicates the total number of slots, which is auto detected by the ESD. You can change these, so if you only want the item in the first slot to be pulled out via the ESD, you simply change this to 0. And so 0 and 0, so it'll only pull out of the first slot. Now I've got it pushing to the east, which is the item interface. I don't know why it's got 383 slots, but that apparently the item interfaces, that's what they have. They don't have a GUI, so you can't do anything with them. But what this is doing is pushing it in through the item interface and into the network. So from the network, it goes from this item laser relay. It goes through to check to see if any of these items are allowed into any of the chests based on priority. So this is priority 10, this is priority 10, and this one over here is priority 10, along with this one here. They're all the same priority. So they will check these item laser relays first to see if they have been filtered to allow the item to go into this particular interface. Now, these item filters themselves are created with black quartz surrounded by iron bars. You can put the items directly into here, but you're limited to 12 spots. These ones here, you can just keep dropping them in here and expanding out your items. I believe that these hold, because I've got a fair few in here, 24 items each. So yeah, it's pushing that item out of that chest through the ESD into the item interface and into the network. It checks the filters on here because they're all set to whitelist to ensure, or to check to see if they're allowed into there. If it doesn't find a match, the way I've set it up, it'll just go into this item laser relay here, which is my dump chest, all the extra stuff that isn't part of any filter already goes into there. This here is an expansion to the network, so fundamentally what I've got is an item filter set up for all the ores that I've currently found, and that pushes it through the ESD. Inbound is your chest on top again, to the east to the crusher, that crushes it, just pushes it straight through with the ESD into the powered furnace, and then it gets drawn out with the ESD into the item interface and then gets pushed back into the network. And this particular this particular relay has got your tin gold ingots in it, so that's all ready to go already. And this just treats all these items as connected anyway, so if I put cobblestone into the chest over there, it'll make its way into these storage drawers via the controller. And I should mention that we've had an update to the pack. We've now got Botania and Chisel. So I've had a wander around, and there are Botania flowers now in the world. But in this episode, what I want to concentrate on is getting power generation up, because this is just woefully inadequate. I'm burning through a lot of coal. I've got a few options here. I can go to advanced generators, which I've done in one of my previous playthroughs, but that was in 1.9.4. We also have got big reactors in here, which are basically creating a nuclear reactor using yellowite, or a reactor plus a steam turbine to generate power. We've also got deep resonance, which is another favourite of mine. I like the mod, it's very interesting. Yep, simple generators. And then of course we've got actually Additions canola. RF Tools also has an energetic generator. Right guys, after looking through a lot of the power mods in there, I realised I'm not really up to a point with the amount of material I've got, or resources I've got, to be able to do a lot of them. So what I am going to have to do is start basic, which I already did with this furnace generator anyway, but what I want to do is to see what this one produces. So I'm assuming that we need some sort of fuel source. 64 RF per tick, well that's better than your 40 RF per tick from the furnace generator. So if I build a couple of these, create a network of them, and just attach them into the power system with the laser relay, I should be able to generate a bit more power. With these blocks as well, you can use a wrench. Not sure if the laser wrench works, but I've got the smart wrench from RF Tools. I've created that. Orange means output, nothing means no input or output, and blue means input, which the one probe shows you up here anyway. So what I want to do is to create a bank of furnaces. I guess I'm not going to make a lot of them, probably 2 or 3, simply because I don't want to burn through a whole bunch of coal, because at the moment I don't have any coal. I mean, that's the amount of coal I've got. I'm going to set up a tree farm to generate charcoal, so we'll do that as well. But let's just put a couple of furnaces in play to start with. So I think we might just go. I've made some work tables from forestry. These are very cool and they have been a favourite of mine for a long time. Essentially it saves recipes and doesn't drop items. So this is the internal buffer or the internal storage capacity of the work table itself. You put items in here. If they're in your inventory, they won't actually they won't draw from your current inventory to create items with. They'll only draw from the internal inventory of the work table. So as you can see here, I've created a whole bunch of items previously. And if you wanted to create, if I wanted to have a situation where I was creating multiple of things like those furnaces, I can simply right click on there and that'll lock the recipe, because every time you create a new recipe, it pushes the first one out. So this iron bars will disappear if I created another recipe in here that wasn't already in here. And so on and so forth. It just cycles through the items every time you try and create a new recipe. See, these ones here I've done. This is my actually additions work table. Not that you can call it that, but it's all the stuff in there from actually additions. So my item laser relay. I need redstone blocks for. Lock that. Got redstone here. Okay, so I think we might just put this one here. Connect that into the network. The only problem with carrying these things around is that sometimes you think you pick something up, but it goes into the backpack. So that's one. Let's make a second one. Right, it seems that these machines just output, that's all they do anyway, so that's storing, that's not full, because that's, okay, so because this side is, you can see site output, it won't let the power from these generators go back into here, so I have to actually put another relay on here and then connect it. So those generators will now just charge the battery, and I've trapped myself in. Yay. Tree farm options. Actually additions has got a farmer, I believe. Farmer. I haven't used the actual additions farmer before because I normally use the Ender.io farmer, but obviously Ender.io isn't in this pack. So Anori crystal blocks, so we need 4 blocks of iron seeds and iron casing. I'm just wondering, let's have a read up of the farmer. Let's get one of these because that looks good to me. Let's get 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blocks of iron. Blocks of Anori crystals. Yeah, so I've got all the ingredients. You see how it wouldn't accept the fact that they weren't in the internal buffer. You need to have them in the internal buffer. And the farmer is going to need some power. And I believe it needs. Do I need to go to sleep? 8, 9, 10. 10 by 10. So that's pretty good. That means I can just go. There's these mobs floating around at the moment, which are basically regen and smite. So what they're doing, they're burning up in the sunlight, but they're not actually burning. Unless I just got hit by lightning from the storm, but see that guy there? Vengeance, storm, quicksand. Awesome. Gonna try and avoid that guy. Let's get some RF hooked up. Let's just connect it up to this one here. There you go. Nice. Right, so now that needs to have saplings, I guess, placed into it. Failing this, if this doesn't work, I guess we could use the forestry farm. That's a lot more complicated to set up. It's not complicated, it's just time consuming. And it's not something that I really want to do. Let's try some seeds. See if we've got it set up properly. Okay, we've definitely got it set up properly, so this will not work with trees. That's alright, I need to grow other things anyway. Let's chuck some different types of seeds in there, see how it grows. So let's put some rice seeds in there, take these out because they're useless. Carrots, beetroots. I'll put some flax in here so we can get some string. And we can hook that up to our item conduits as well. I think we've got a spare item somewhere. Item relay, yep. Doesn't. I think that I'm going to have another item ESD and item interface, but we'll soon find out. I mean, nothing's in here at the moment anyway, so let's go like this, and then through the back here, like that. Right, just let that stuff grow and see what happens. In the meantime, I think I might go and mine some more coal. These things here, climbing ropes from Literal Ascension, are pretty cool. They go down about the same speed as a ladder. But the absolute best thing about these things, and I suggest you make these things the first thing you do when you want to come down to Y level about 10 to start mining, because watch this. I can get on the rope. If you face all the way up, look how fast that increases. So it's just a very quick way to get up to the surface, and it's brilliant. Okay, I've got some coal sorted out, and that's charged, which is good. And I put the coal blocks in here. Now I'm assuming that this is now charging the farm outside. Yeah, it's charging the farm. So I reckon that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Next episode, I think I will work on forestry. But at the moment we've got basic, well, we've got 128 RF per tick. What I want to do is to start using charcoal, hence the requirement for tree farm. Okay, that's it. I will see you in the next episode. Ciao.